The Proper Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.
Okay, Happy New Year to one and all. Happy New Year to Nigel. Happy New Year to Dan. How are you both feeling? Long, heavy night or feeling fully refreshed?
Long night, definitely a long night, but it was a good one. I had a really good time last night. Woke up about 12:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, Happy New Year, guys.
As you do.
How you feeling, Daniel?
Happy New Year, mate. Yeah, I was in bed. I was nodding off about 10 o'clock on the sofa, but
Really?
showing me age, but yeah. But no, it was just New Year's Eve, innit? Didn't go out anywhere, just spent indoors. No, it was all right. Another year done.
Another year done.
Another year ticked off.
I was gigging last night. I'm absolutely shattered now. But absolutely. Right, well, folks, it's New Year's Day. As you can see, we're sprucing the show up a little bit now. But I think, chaps, show, I think we've got to literally start with this. We have to. We lost Pele a few days ago. And for me, I think what an ambassador for the beautiful game.
He's a genius, wasn't he? I mean, like, the word legend's used too easily these days, but he was a legend. And, things that he was doing back in his day with heavier footballs that he couldn't bend that well. And, he was just a pure genius at it.
Yeah. I think we can have a really good discussion about that very subject. But before we do, let me just a little bit of an insight into Pele.
Someone wrote this song for, and I could tell you where it's from. Before 736-251 to put my mind at ease. Please just have a laugh with me. Just know I'm far away, but I know these sounds have already grown.
So basically, that was really showing all these legends we see, Cruyff there, Ronaldo, doing their little tricks. And then it literally showed you Pele doing every single one of them. Almost exactly.
He did them first. Yeah, he did everything first.
He did them first, absolutely. It's only right that we do talk about Pele for a few moments. But Nigel, coming back to what you said about him being a legend and the fact that obviously back in the day he was able to do that when it's such a different playing field. I just want to really take this moment. I think this whole debate that keeps raging on all these other platforms, I want to say platforms, I mean the likes Talk Sport and BBC, about the greatest ever player. You can't have a greatest ever player because it ain't a level playing field. Like, the game changed. The game today is different to what it was 20 years ago. That was different to what it was 20 years before that. So you clearly can't have a true, absolute legend. But if there is ever going to be one, it would be him, for the all-round Pele.
And he was the first, girl. He was the first.
And he was the first
pin-up top player, wasn't he? The world icon,
I think Maradona is as close as you can get to it himself. I just think possibly Pele, with the sort of person he was, and what he gave back to football, maybe Maradona had a bit of a tarnished off the field lifestyle. But this I don't know why they keep going on about this. Ronaldo's is he better than Pele? You can't even go near it, because we've had this conversation before, haven't we? The balls are different. The pitches are different. Mate, I'll get some footage for next week of what it... Well, Nigel, you would have been there. People kick you off the park.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got kicked out of the World Cup, didn't he? They interviewed him, say, mate.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, that player's first tackle would have been off. So, you know, them players were allowed to stand on the pitch and do it over and over again. And even in my day, you know, fullbacks would have 5 or 6 kicks at me before the referee would even have a word with them. So things have changed. You know, this day and age, the balls are lighter, the rules have changed, the way ref games have changed. So when you look back at what he achieved, I mean, he got 3 World Cup trophies.
No one's going to match that, are they?
He might have had 4 if he hadn't been kicked out of the other World Cup tournament. So, you know, that just shows you how good he was.
Yeah, I don't think that record can ever be broken, can it? That means not only has a player got to play in 3 World Cups, which is a challenge in itself, that country's got to win it 3 times within a short space of time. Yeah. So I think that record is going to be unbroken.
Yeah, you can't even compare the scoring record. I think players play more games now, don't they? In a season's, look how many players. Like, so the stats of it, you can't compare the stats.
At top flight, Dan, you're absolutely right. Because Champions League and everything, you know, it wasn't like that back. Even in Nigel's day, it was all knockout competition, wasn't it? So clearly, players are playing more games now.
I spoke to Gordon Cowans. And he was telling me about when he played for New York Cosmos and Pele was there. And he said, you know, even at that stage of his career, you know, things he was doing in training and matches, you know, he was in awe of it all, Gordon. He said, I just looked at him and just wanted to watch him. Even though I was playing with him, I just wanted to watch him because he was that good.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Well, I mean, we've lost a big part of football, haven't we, in Pele, but you know, 82 was he? Was he 82?
Yeah, 83,
83. Yeah. Well, thoughts are out with obviously his family and that. But what a player. What a player. So, Premier League football's back. Championship football's back. We're back to normal. There's been a few ups and downs. One thing I'm going to pick on, and I think I picked on this last year, and I was gobsmacked to realise that we've actually been doing this over a year now, this show. I'm really shocked.
46 shows, this is.
Yeah, but one of the things, and I think I touched on this back then, I've been looking at the fixtures and everything, and sorry, before I go on, guys, can you see the chat?
Yeah.
You can, I can't.
We've got David Lovegrove on. We got Mike Howells, Ben Cliff.
I can't see the chat.
Taylor-made Army, Pidge, Robert Croucher,
Ben Higgins.
So there's a few on there. Good to have you with us, lads.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
Give him a shout out then, because I can't see.
We've got one from David Lovegrove.
I might be able to see those on Facebook, but I won't be able to see those on. I don't know why I can't see it, but anyway,
click on comments, girl.
To pick them up, yeah.
Yeah, can't you click on comments, mate? Can you not see the chat?
No.
A big shout out to Ben Cliff, our Kids Grow Athletic Stoke fan. Glad to be back at home tomorrow with Kids Grow Athletic. Boxing Day, we had to travel 164 miles to work it, and you mentioned that 4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Can you just say Robert Crouch is on?
Yep, Robert Crouch is on as well.
Casper, how you doing, mate? Happy New Year to you. He was the one that told me about your TR7.
He's watching Special Kind of Madness at the moment, the top tribute band. So I don't know if he's
watching. He'd be in the horns. He'd be in the horns.
Yes, that's it, the horns. He's in the horns. He's got the horns. He's in the horns.
Oh, brilliant.
Got to say big hello to Dave Lovegrove. He said, I'm absolutely fuming at the shower of shite that is Watford FC. I'm not wasting any more money watching them until the owners are out. I'll spend my money watching Wealdstone in the National League. Most of Watford's first team wouldn't make the starting lineup. Yeah. So he's not a happy man.
you can love your club, but you don't necessarily have to lean that currently is in place.
How did they get on yesterday?
Forever, you're your club, aren't you? But the people who own it at the time, they're there for a short space of time. Fans are there forever. So you don't have to support the regime, do you? And that regime is rancid. Right. Okay. So we've spruced the show up a little bit. So we've got coming up the funny old game. got a couple of bits there. Then we've got the good old days, and we're all going to come up with a little story again. But when we get guests coming on from hopefully next week, they've got to tell us a little story. But so necessarily we won't all tell a story every week, but we're going to mix that up a little bit and good old days stories. So that they're coming up on the show. But let's just talk about what I wanted to bring up. So I was looking through the fixtures, and once again, just highlights for me how the top end of the EFL and the Premier League don't give two shits about the fans half the time. I look at the non-league fixtures, and I think every fixture today, and it's same on Boxing Day, right, is a local derby. Okay.
Yeah, there was loads.
It's New Year's Day today. What is stopping the EFL and the Premier? What is stopping them allowing there to be more local football? Because it's New Year's Day, not only for the fans, but even the players. If they've got to travel up the length of the country, and some of them today have been early kickoffs, you can't celebrate New Year, can you? Realistically,
same as Boxing Day,
I mean, I don't quite understand why they stopped that. I can't remember when they stopped the Boxing Day traditions and New Year's Day traditions. I don't know when, but the non-league clubs haven't.
I think that's more because some of them they're regionalised Galdem leagues, aren't they? You got the North.
But you've got to look into them. Not all of them. But when you look at even the regionalised ones, so National League North, for instance, every one of them has been picked to be local. So Kettering would have played Peterborough, but they had a walk-log pitch. I mean, without looking at them, Blythe Spartan are playing Spennymoor, so they've kept them in the northeast. And
maybe the clubs get together and sort this out over with the league and decide when their fixtures are. That happens sometimes. Maybe the Premier League
happened, didn't it? I mean, Boxing Day was always a traditional derby day, and I bring it up today only because it's relevant. It's relevant today because I looked at that and I thought, Christ, I mean, was it Villa Tottenham? Was the 12 kickoff? I mean, do they not think of the fans wanting to bring in the new? They don't, do they? And that's why I can't stand some modern day football that we see.
Mate, like I said, the family side of things don't come into it anymore with the thinking. It's just all business now.
I just don't understand what the big drama is in not localising some of the games.
Anyway. Another local derby, don't they? Sort of
like even in the National League, like Yeovil played Torquay today. And they've just kept it really. If you look at it, even the regionalised ones, Dan.
Yeah.
They are literally they've gone out their way to ensure.
Woking all the shops and no one. But did you see QPR home to Sheffield United tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff, because it's on the telly. Sheffield United fans, it's going to be a nightmare for them getting back at 10 o'clock at half 10, 11 from Euston. They won't, will they? No.
I mean, all right, not that I must tip me out to the Watford fans who travelled on the other night to Swansea. I've been to Swansea for a night game, and mate, you don't go home till 3 in the morning. I mean, it's just, and then go and watch a pile of poo like that, even worse. Right, so you're keeping an eye on the comments and you'll bring them up, yeah, Dan?
Yeah, Happy New Year to Dickie Cook, my big Palace fan, a bit of Millwall Gary as well.
There's a game on today. Well, there was a game on today, Blackpool Sunderland.
Yeah.
And I've got to tell you, the first time I'd done a gig up in Sunderland, it was on New Year's Day a few years back. So I'd done New Year's Eve at the local, didn't finish there till 3. Then I got on the train at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up to Blackpool because the pub I was doing was the designated pub for the away fans. So they brought thousands down with them, Sunderland, so I done the pub from 11 o'clock till 3. Got paid for that. Had a night out in Blackpool, came back. But it's ironic that today the same fixtures got on again, and that's a fair distance for Sunderland fans as well, isn't it? To get down there.
Yeah.
Just go across, yes.
And across and all, isn't it?
It's probably not as bad as some that have had to do today, but yeah, it's still, like I say, you know, I suppose Sunderland being in Championship would have been Sunderland-Middlesbrough. That would have been the game that should have been today. You know, you could go through and
the police don't want that either, though, Gal, do they? Maybe it's police influence as well. They don't want a big operation, Boxing Day. More money they have to pay.
Is that why they knocked it on the head?
I don't know. It could be a factor
on a New Year's Day and a Boxing Day is difficult to. Or do they get? I bet they get double time, the old Bill.
Probably do, yeah.
And the clubs don't want to pay the extra money, so they've gone, nah.
We're
swerving that, mate. Yeah, Middlesbrough, you can go and play Plymouth. Go on. Right, okay. So, Dan, I think you suggested about maybe looking at some of the highlights that we've had for the year gone, 22.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few. I mean, it's hard to think back because you've got to include the end of last season as well, haven't you?
Very difficult, yeah.
But obviously the World Cup just
the Euros as well in the same year.
Yeah, the women's Euros, you've got to give them a shout out. Good to see Chris Kamara get an MBE or CBE. What he got this time round, didn't he? For his
mate, he's
services
funny,
to football.
Really. He's funny.
Yeah, especially how he's struggling now. But no, I was trying to think of a standout player and all from this season, well, from last year. But it's so hard to nail one down. There's been so many in there. It's just, I don't know. Have you thought of any?
I've got to say that the guy, I mean, Haaland at Man City.
Yeah.
I mean, he was sold for such a big fee. He had a lot of pressure, you know, coming over. He's got to prove himself, and he's scoring goals for fun. I just think the guy's done brilliant over here. You know, he's not old either. He's quite young, so he's carrying out on your shoulders and performing the way he has performed. I think he's class.
I think if I was asked about a player, I mean, you can't get away from him whatever way you look.
The one that excites you,
Guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, but look, those that are listening, you know, have you got any highlights that you'd like to have raised on the show? Let us know. Give us a shout. Dan's watching it avidly for us there.
When you're on about the MEB, MBEs?
MBE,
Yeah.
MFI.
Yeah, that's a strange one, wasn't it? Only 4 of the INSs got recognised that, you know, they got the MBEs. There's only 4 of them.
The manager got the CB, which I think's the overseas one, isn't it? But
but I mean, that's strange just to give 4 out, isn't it? But you would give the whole team, the awards or nothing.
I agree. Yeah, I mean,
the England team, didn't they?
Really?
66 World Cup side. I mean, we lost George Cohen, didn't we, in the week?
We did. Yeah.
Fulham legend, team player, wasn't he? But he was he a CBE? He never got knighted or nothing, did he? For his Sir Jeff Hurst did, didn't he? But yeah, it's all a bit hit and miss, isn't it? A lot of people are moaning about, is it Gary Seinfeld, the rugby player who's got motor neuron disease? He's done so much work and he didn't even get an award. I think they're a load of old bollocks, to be honest.
I think most people take them with a pinch of salt. I mean, half of them are probably politically driven anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, fair play to Chris Kamara.
Serving people out there in the country, isn't there?
Yeah. But I know you're not the biggest fan of women's football and that, but what them ladies have done, have took it to another level, isn't it? And brought young kids to play, young girls to play football. So you've got to take your hats off to that, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to get people involved in sport. But...
Yeah, I mean, women's football don't do it for me, I'll be honest with you. But I'll take my hat off to the success of the Lionesses, without a doubt, you know.
Yeah. There's a couple here, Mark Ford. Happy New Year, mate. Mike Al, yep, you're not wrong about double bubble. Yeah, Mike, ex-Bilney.
So Mike being an ex-officer of the law, he knows. So, yeah, that's what it is then, guys. Now we've sussed it, right? So that the old Bill getting double bubble, right, for doing it on a Boxing Day and a New Year's Day, and the clubs have gone, no, we're swerving that. But the non-league clubs who ain't got no money are still doing it. Oh,
David OC. I think that's Dave Cass, is it? Has he got a new name, is he? Happy New Year, fellas. Happy New Year, Dave. Yeah, we always used to have Brighton, Palace Brighton. It was always Boxing Day. Obviously, we were in the same leagues. And but obviously that they've swerved that now because
No,
of
I mean, I
trouble
can't
and
remember
stuff.
when it stopped, but I sort of get maybe with the policing thing. Okay, fair enough. It just seems so unfair to the fans that you know, they make life so difficult.
It's nothing new, though, is it? We're used to it now.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. You know, 8:00 on a Saturday night. You know, oh dear, and no doubt that'll get worse. So I'll tell you what we at? What should we do? I'll tell you what. Let's do. So our new little intro to this, folks. Here we go.
They think it's all over. It is now. It's 4. And Charlton.
There you go. That's our new intro to the good old days. So, and do you like the picture there of young Nigel holding up the old Under-21s World Cup there, eh?
Oh, was that what the trophy was it?
Yeah,
That
the
was,
Under-21s World Cup.
That was the last time that England had won a major trophy since the World Cup before the ladies went and got theirs. I remember that well.
Why have you got a CBE or an MBE?
So
we
Cally.
we got there the hard way, you know. We beat France in the quarterfinals, and then we beat Italy in the semi-finals, and then we beat Spain in the final. So we didn't miss any of the big boys in that tournament. But yeah, they were the good old days.
Yeah. We
game
probably
won.
have a show on that alone. That experience of
Well, the thing was,
winning in an England shirt.
we just lost to Everton in the FA Cup final that week. And the first leg was actually played in Spain, and I missed that because obviously I was playing in the cup final. So having lost the cup final, then Thursday I went up to Bramall Lane and we won the cup there at Sheffield United. So it was a nice way to end the season, really.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So you didn't play in the first leg, but because playing in the FA Cup final, and you were straight in on the second leg.
Yeah, because of the cup final, I missed that, and I think they drew the first leg. I'm not sure, but I set the winner up at Bramall Lane for Mark Haitley, and we.
I was going to say, who was the starting lineup, Nigel, in that team? There must be some big old names in that England Under-21 squad.
Oh, jeez. I can't remember all off heart, but like I said, Mark Haitley, Steve McMahon, he was one of my roommates. Steve Hodge from Forest.
Yeah.
He was one of my roommates.
Multi-millionaire now, isn't he, Steve, from the Maradona?
Paul Walsh was there, remember him?
Who's that? Paul Walsh.
Paul Walsh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the lad from Man City, centre back, blonde-haired lads. I think he's sadly passed away now. I can't remember what his name was, but there was some players in that side. There was some good players in the Spain side, to be fair. But yeah,
what experience, mate.
That's ages ago. That.
Yeah, David Watkins. Paul Walsh, what a player he was. He was a great player, wasn't he? Paul Walsh. Was he Luton, Liverpool? Wasn't he? He played for a few clubs, Paul Walsh, and he always had the long hair with a mullet. Well, you all had that back then, didn't you?
I mean, we're talking about good old days. This is a great topic anyway. Just out of interest, you hear a lot about, all right, this New England side, they're all mates. They feel like they're on holiday, which I'm not sure is the greatest thing in the world. But and the change that Southgate brought in was he gelled the side and they didn't have the cliques. And we heard a lot about these cliques in the senior side. In the under-21s back then, was it cliquey or was it, all together?
No, I don't think it was cliquey. I thought it was a good bunch of lads, to be fair. Like, there's never any time that you sort of didn't feel you was part of it. Obviously, like some of the lads were playing at bigger clubs than what Watford was at the time, and I mean, bloody hell, we were the sort of poor boys of London, really. Watford, were we? I remember Graham Taylor went to me, went, "Oh, I've got you something," and I mean, "What is it? Got you a sponsored car," and it was a bloody mini Metro. Right? It was yellow, with Go Fast, the red and black stripes down the side of it with Nigel Cally. And it was so embarrassing. And I got to Heathrow Airport to get the plane with the lads.
On it as well.
I turn up in a mini metro, and Paul Walsh turned up in a Mitsubishi Colt Stallion.
Did it have your name like in the like the sun visor bits? Remember them back in the 80s? Because you had the names in the sun visor, like
and the furry dice.
Plastered all the way
Sharon and Fred.
I don't even think the car was a 1 litre engine either. I think it was something like 850.
Oh, they looked after you boys.
You've got a question here. You've got a question here, Nigel, from Dickie Cook. One for Nigel. Does he remember playing a game out in Corfu against Sammy's Bar? It was about 300 degrees. Must have been late 90s. Yeah,
I'll tell you about that. Right, we made a workers' football team. So every time we got some tourists over, there was a bar opposite Sammy's Bar. We used to get a team together, and all the workers, we used to go to Sammy's for breakfast and a lot. So we all put some money in the kitty, and whatever team won, we'd stick the money behind the bar in the team's bar that's just won. So in 3 years, we never lost one game. Like, we was in Sammy's Bar all the time. And there's a group of lads come over, the YTS boys from Sheffield United. And Matey boy thought he'd finally got a team to beat us. And they were 1-0 up with about 10 minutes to go, and we beat them 2-1. But it was, over there, there weren't no fast pitches. So you're playing on gravel. Yeah. It's gravel pitches. So when you go down, you don't, you come up with cuts and bruises all over you. But yeah, 3 years. I had to go around and knock all the lads up because they wouldn't go to sleep till about 6 a.m. So I'm knocking on the doors at 11 o'clock, and then we're all just piling in this minibus and go up to the pitch. But yeah, they were good days. They were. Still don't know how to do it.
So what I was going to bring up was, for the good old days, is I guess I spoke to you about this in the week, Dan. I mean, you brought up about your daughter and a playground. So I thought back about a few things of the good old days. The thing is, I started going on my own to football when I was like 13 years old. And I don't think you get that so much these days. I don't think you see young lads just going along to their football. I might be wrong.
You're not allowed to, I think. Under 12, is it, or under 13? They don't think you're allowed to go on your own.
Yeah, so I started going, and to find out, like, my mum was a single parent family, so we didn't have a lot of money. So I used to fund my football at that age by doing paper round. You get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, do your paper round. I think you got 50 per day, 250 or whatever. Then on a Wednesday afternoon, I used to do the local paper, get another 150 or something. And that used to fund my football. And I think now about that. So I don't know, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was earning, say, £4 if I was lucky, £3, £4 with doing all these different paper rounds and whatever else. But that would get me to football and have change. So I remember if it was a midweek game, it was even better. But I think the train fare was about £1.20. And if it was a midweek game, they used to do a night rider on the Euston line for 75p. Obviously under 16, And then to get in the ground at Watford then, it was about £1.20, £1.10p, 30p for a programme. So and we were talking about your daughter was possibly, and I was trying to work out, would a today's paper round finance them being able to go to top flight football? Well, I say top flight. I mean, all right, there was a couple of seasons there that we was in Division 2. But it didn't alter that much. I remember getting into Anfield for £1.10p, Man United for £1.20 when we'd gone up. So
the going rate for a paper round now was, the fella around the corner offered me daughter £22.50 a week, 7 days a week for an hour a week.
7 days a week.
Yeah. Wow. And after, it went through me. So after I took my £4 commission out of that as well, I offered it. It was $18.50, but no, she just turned her nose up now. She's not interested. But $22.50, it's a bit.
So the thing is, if I look at that now, and I look at where I was when I was that age, that now would cost me to get to Watford as a kiddie. I suppose I might be wrong, but I'm guessing about £15. right? 12 to 15 pound. I think it's about 25 quid, I think, for an adult. So what is it, half? Is it half these days still for an under 16?
Yeah.
And you're a fucking train driver. Come on. You don't know.
I don't pay for a train ticket.
So well, let's say 12 quid then. Let's say I can get there for 12 quid. Now, if I was on my own, I wouldn't be out getting a family stand when they can get in very cheaply with their season tickets. I wouldn't have had all that. So I'd have to pay an under 16 rate, which I think is half the amount. So bearing in mind, I'm not going with family, I'm going with me. So we're talking, I think 38 quid in one of the stands, 38 quid. So we're talking 16, 17 quid there. So we're now up to 30 quid. And then you've got £3.50 for program. So say 35 quid. So absolutely no comparison. You can't do what I could do in today's money. For paper round, you couldn't do it. And I was saying I had change out that little amount of money. Yeah. But anyway, that's my good old days.
Dave Cassidy saying, remember going to Palace away age 30 with my mate and my first girlfriend who was Chelsea. What the F is it? I wanted to bring up boiled burgers. Do you remember? You don't get boiled burgers at grounds anymore, do you? That smell.
What? Sorry.
Boiled burgers. They're like you get burgers. They used to boil them at Palace.
Horrible, mate.
They used to boil them in these big things, and the smell. All you remember about 15 minutes into the second half, you used to get this smell. Sorry if anyone's eating their dinner. This smell of burger farts coming up, drifting over the half-awake stand, where everyone's dropping their cups.
You just ruined half a dozen people's New Year's Day dinner now, haven't you?
But yeah, boiled burgers. I'm sure other people must know what I'm talking about. But yeah, glad they tasted lovely. But yeah, glad they're a thing in the past.
Oh, dear me. Boiled burgers.
The good old days.
Do you know how much I was on when I signed as an apprentice for Watford?
Go on.
They were paying me £30 a week. £15 of that went to my mum and dad for digs.
Yeah.
So £15 a week we was earning as a YTS player. Well, not a YTS as an apprentice, but I
think when I left school, I started doing a YTS, and it was £25 for a YTS payment. I was doing some apprenticeship thing. I didn't last long. I wanted money, didn't I? I'd take anything to get a bit of money, mate. Because the problem with that was from going on from when I was a youngster, where maybe I hadn't quite got into the beer element. As soon as you're old enough, you get that. Then the cost of going to football quadruples because of the amount of beer you want to drink. So I had to earn more money than 25 quid a week.
How much were them boiled burgers? How much were the boiled burgers in back then at Watford? Did you have to? Dave Cash is saying boiled burger farts are worse than dogs. Yeah. Diggy Cook said boiled burgers. Dan's Alan Partridge moment. Yep.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Blimey. Right. Okay. So that's the good old days. Have we? We've had quite a programme of. A bit of a shock result today, wasn't it, with Tottenham?
They were shocking.
Was it a shock? Is that a shock?
Tottenham were shocking. I couldn't believe how poor they was. No, it ain't really shocking the way they've been playing.
Really, is it? I must admit, I'm not a fan of the Premier League, as I've made it quite clear on many occasions.
You never said that, girl.
Really?
First I've heard of it.
Didn't know that. But I must admit, it does seem quite open this year. There's a lot more competition, which is good.
Arsenal, obviously the shock, and they look good. They're still playing well, Nigel, aren't they? They're still. You said that they would fade away, but they're still pulling it up, aren't they? They're still doing it.
But like I said, I still don't think they'll last a distance.
No.
But, they have been the standout side, I think, in the first half of the season.
I thought Brighton's a tough place to go, isn't it? And Brighton didn't play that bad either yesterday, but Odegaard, if that's how you pronounce his name, he looks he's looked brilliant, doesn't he, at the moment?
They're all trying to buy the Alexander, isn't they, or whatever? What's his name?
McAllister,
isn't it? Alexi McAllister. They're all trying to buy him at the minute, aren't they?
Oh, the Argentinian at Brighton, yeah.
Yeah.
Scottish
and Brighton
Argentinian.
has said, mate, you're going to have to cough up about 75 mil.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's staying.
Yeah. Now, Ben Higgins is calling for Innick out, Levy out. I did hear the fans start singing it when they went 2-0 down. Villa looked good, though. He's done a good job.
I'd love to be a fly in that dressing room wall because I reckon Conte's one of them managers that don't pull no punches.
Right.
You know, after they lost, he won't be happy.
I think he's after problem, isn't he?
Final score, Forest Chelsea.
Good point for Forest, that. I'll tell you, I want to give Millwall a mention today. I know Millwall, Gary was on here earlier. They're up to 4th now in the Championship.
They're doing well. They're
doing really
brilliant
well.
Win again today, 3-0.
Yeah. They're flying. Beat Watford, didn't they, the other day? Bullied you out of the game.
Yeah, 3-0 at Watford. Mind you, that ain't hard against that shower of shit. So having a quick squint through some of the New Year's Day football.
Yeah. West Ham, they're another team struggling, aren't they?
I'll tell you something as well. West Brom, if they win a few more games, they're back in the playoffs. And
and they were
2 games ago, they were right down in the pension.
Good manager.
If you look at that table, right? That table, we've said this before, but to be fair, I think you've got Burnley and Sheffield United breaking away now. I think you are seeing a breakaway now, whereas before it was anybody's. It ain't now. You know, I mean, they're 11-point gap between Burnley and Blackburn in 3rd. Sheffield United have got an 8-point gap between them as well.
Look at their goal difference, girl, though. The goal difference. They're both 26, 21 plus.
Yeah, mate.
So that tells the whole story. The rest of the league is.
I think we're going to see a breakaway with them too, and I think really it's what's left. I mean, astonishingly, Luton have crept in there in 5th spot. I hate to talk about them, but there we go. We should because we shouldn't be biased. But Matey boy's gone over there, and he's ripping up bleeding trees with Luton, isn't he?
Yeah.
What does that say about Watford? It ain't the manager. It ain't the manager. You know, he got a lot of stick from Watford fans as well. He's going to go to Luton now, and I tell you what, they're going to finish above us. He's probably going to have a good running, and I hate to say it, we'll probably lose at Luton, and that will just tell the story of where our club is. But anyway,
good result with Derby, Nigel. They're up in the playoffs now, aren't they? Your old club.
Yeah, they're chugging on nicely. You know, I think deep down, most of the supporters were expecting them to be in the promotion playoffs at least. But you know, it's like everything in football these days. With the 3 points that you get for a win, you know, you string 3 or 4 games together, and you sort of leapfrog over about 8 teams in. And you know, it breeds confidence, doesn't it? The more wins you get, the more confident you get. I mean, Arsenal's a proof in the pudding with that. You know, they actually believe in themselves at the moment.
Yeah. You look at that top 6 in League One, right? There's some big clubs there.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Derby, Wickham.
Not so much. Bolton Wanderers.
Big club. Just behind that, you've got Bolton. That's some big clubs there, isn't there?
Plymouth. They was a championship, well, the old 2nd division, weren't they, a few years ago? So they are a bit of a sleeping giant down. They get big crowds, big away support. But
no, you ain't got a lot of options down there, have you? Really, Torquay, Yeovil, Exeter. You know, you ain't really got a lot of options. They're the biggest southwest club, aren't they? As in deep southwest, but they're opening up a gap. They are opening up a gap. But just having a look there, then we'll get on to some funny stuff. Let's have a look. So down in League 2, anything outstanding there?
Gillingham, what's happened to them? They went down last season. Now they're rock bottom in the League 2, aren't
they? Yeah, didn't play today.
No. Leyton Orient still flying at the top, so that's a...
Yeah, they're doing really, really well, Leyton Orient, aren't they? I was just having a look down there in League One, and Bromley, your local club there, drawing with Southend.
Notts County dropped a couple of points today, didn't they? So that's a bit of a good news for Wrexham.
Hollywood Wrexham, yeah. That one there, Eastleigh 4, Dorking 0. I'm just having a look at the table there. Dorking are one of them sides that have got a bit. Well, they're sitting mid-table, so they're holding their own in that league. I mean, if you look at the bottom of that league, you've got Scunthorpe, Torquay, both clubs with league pedigree there. Oldham just hovering above them. Aldershot, Yeovil, York. It's mad. But yeah, Notts County. Notts County. So they're 5 points ahead of Wrexham, but Wrexham got 2 games in hand. But they've got to win them 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a story going on at Scunthorpe. I think there's a takeover happening to buy it, but I reckon there's something really corrupt going on down there. They're rock bottom.
They are, mate. Yeah.
And I was trying to look into it. There's something, some dodgy dealings going on. I see that fans up in arms, and it's sad because they're a good club.
I remember going and watching them in Championship, mate, when they had a season up there.
Yeah.
I remember going up there. They could do with their turnstiles being a bit wider because I couldn't get in.
Open the ambulance gate.
Hey, what Newcastle fans like that?
Oh, mate, yeah. No, see, the trick at Newcastle is to, as you're getting up there, right? Yeah, I can't get through them. They're tiny. And, mate, you start limping, right? And if you're a big lad like me, you can't get through the turnstile anyway. They're literally, you've got to be like anorexic to get in there.
Oh, and then you've got to go up about
through the lift. See, they go, no, come on, you come through here and you get up in the lift then. Don't have to climb 1 million stairs. I've done it about 4 times, mate. I've never gone up them stairs. Never. It works every time. Right, okay, what we got? Oh, cool now. Time for this, I think. What do you reckon? I think so. Let me see now. Where is it? So that funny old game, we had to keep that because that ref headbutting that guy on the touchline. That was in the original intro. We had to keep it somewhere.
Up in Scotland, wasn't
But,
it? Good old guys go kiss
old
it.
game. So I've got a real treat, I think. I really have. And I know this is going to have people on their backs. So this is Argentina winning the World Cup. And this was some Argentinian fans celebrating in a bar by the looks of it with a swimming pool just outside. Just cop a load of this. Mate, all Christmas, every time I want to smile, I just play that. I'm going to play it again. That we've not done this before. This is worthy of a second watch.
They should make it a new Everest window advert, shouldn't they? Our winners at double glazing.
He was proper going to dive in that pool, wasn't he? He proper headbutted that door. It looked like he was out cold and all, didn't it? Oh, mate, that's funny. Right, okay, so we've got a couple of other little things I've got here. One is, obviously we're all aware, I think this is something that you put up, Dan. I thought it was quite amusing. Ivan Toney is obviously a topic of conversation, really, isn't he, with all the betting scandals going on around him and everything, which is a shame because I do think he's absolute a quality player. But I'll just bring this up. So, can you see that properly? I know you can't. Right, no. So Dan, do you want to explain this one? Because it's quite funny.
Yeah, well, Ivan Toney's full name is Ivan Benjamin Elijah Toney, which spells I bet. Which is quite ironic, isn't it? Because he does like a bet, doesn't he? I can't believe he's still playing, though. I thought he'd be suspended. I don't know.
No, he's still playing.
Still scoring.
Has he been proven?
Sorry?
I think they're investigating it.
It's something like 260 odd cases against him or something.
Yeah.
Quite
I don't know what the odds are on him getting done for it. I don't know.
It's really hard to fix a football match, though, isn't it?
One
I don't
more.
know if he was just betting. He was just betting on games. I don't know if he was betting on his own. I'm not sure, but you're not allowed to bet.
No,
as a
I think
footballer.
if you were betting on your own, mate, I think he would have been. He'd have been into the high
Surely you
jump
can
straight
get somebody
away.
else to put a bet on, can't they?
No, what?
Yeah, of
Sorry,
course they can. Yeah.
I missed that. Night.
Someone else can put a bet on for you, but I think he was doing it himself. But you think about football fixing, and it is art. I imagine it's art to do, but I remember Everton beat Wimbledon 3-2 last game of the season, and Everton stayed up. And Anne Seeger's come up, the old Wimbledon keeper, come under a bit of scrutiny. There was a bit of a rumour going around that there was some dodgy fixing going on. And that game always sticks in my mind. I don't know if you remember it. Everton 3, Wimbledon 2. Yeah, I think it was like
yeah, but what
90s. But
I'm saying is the whole team would have to be in on it. If you're going to try and throw a game, the whole team would have to do it.
Yeah,
he definitely didn't Grobbelaar get embroiled in something?
Yeah,
it was something to do with betting.
No, it was match fixing. That was.
Was it?
Sure, it was. But the goalkeeper's got a good position to fix a match, hasn't he? Yeah. But I think there was another Wimbledon players used to kick the ball out. Like you could bet on the first time the first throw on. Kick off, bang, they should just kick it, launch it straight out. So, I mean, it's easily done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with the betting, though. They're putting too many options on betting on football, like, you know.
So many options.
So, you know, that's one way that it could be fixed by a player. I mean, you know, he could be taking shots when there's people in better positions to get the ball. So all this betting on the shots, the corners, you know, that's something that could possibly be fixed. But
yeah,
throw-ons and all. We can bet how many throw-ons as well. But I think when they look at the betting, how many people are betting on a certain thing, and it flags up now. So I think it's quite easy to pick up on stuff. But it happens a lot lower league, non-league. There's a lot of fixing. Different countries where they're like shitty leagues, there's a lot of match fixing there, isn't there? But
right, I've got one more. This is something that Ben Higgins put up, which I thought was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. When it hits midnight, wait 2 minutes for VAR to confirm before you celebrate it. I thought that was just brilliant, and the timing of it, you know, putting it up last night or whatever. But just brilliant. Wait for VAR to confirm you can celebrate. But yeah, I'll put that up. But yeah, okay, so that's a funny old game. Done and dusted. So, gentlemen, we've got 10 minutes. I think maybe a good opportunity. Well, first and foremost, Dan, have we got any more people you want to mention or anything come up?
No, Ben saying about the Tottenham board isn't interested in winning the league or any cups. This was proven when they sacked Mourinho. Yeah, that's true. They sacked him the week before the League Cup final, didn't they? Dickie Cook still banging on about these burgers, taking the piss out of me. Dan, I just Googled ball burgers and nothing came up. You sure you weren't at Sunrise pinging out of your...
Just the thought of ball burgers turns my stomach, man.
Yeah, Dave Kess, or David OC, as he's now known, it says, pundits say Man City's still going to win the league. Bobo. Yeah, I think Arsenal are going to do this. I really do. But, that's it with the comments, mate.
Yeah, okay. So let's take the opportunity then. We're now in 2023. What are your thoughts on the coming year? Any expectations? Have you had any? I'm being a twat here now because I'm brain blocking. New Year's resolutions. That's what I'm looking for. Oh man, I'm still suffering. Right.
I'm going to try and not be so fickle when it comes to football. Like Palace, we got hammered by Fulham Boxing Day, 3 at home, smashed to pieces, 2 players sent off, and now everyone's up against Vieira. He's got to go. His time's up, and pressure's getting on, having to go at the board, and the chairman, he's been brilliant. And I was even starting to think the same. And then we have a good win against Bournemouth yesterday, and all of a sudden you're like, he's doing really well. I'm just going to try not to be as fickle. But I think that's part of a football fan's makeup, isn't it? You swing one way or the other, don't you? But,
have you made any resolutions?
Me? No.
No.
I never stick to it, mate. No.
No.
I think that's the way football's made up now, Dan. You know that after a few bad results, because managers are getting sacked by the board, and it's a natural reaction by the fans now. After a few defeats, they're saying Vieira out and all that lot. But I think that's just the way football's been influenced, and the way it is at the moment.
Is that because it was always like in Italy and other foreign countries, wasn't it? Sackings. We used to look at them and think, oh, I'd like to sack someone after a few games. But it happens. Look at Crawley Town. They're run by that Bitcoin company, aren't they, now? And they sack someone after 3 games, like the 4th managerial appointment they've gone through. But it's obviously people in charge who ain't.
They don't have a clue about football. That's the problem now. Like Nigel says, it's a business now. And I think the problem is people now own these clubs. I mean, especially the Americans. What the hell do they know about our game? They call it soccer, for Christ's sake.
And I bet they obviously look at social media as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Chairman and managers and see the fans.
Because it's a business, there's no loyalty.
I don't even think managers are that bothered if they get sacked now, because they're getting paid out anyway, aren't they? They get a payout every time they get sacked.
Mate, I'd love to get the opportunity to be a manager and make a right hash of it after 2 months. And we'll have a couple million quid in my pocket and sit and put my feet up in the Caribbean. Yeah, let's do that. Who's
it this week who's in the Premier League? We didn't just talk about the Premier League, but it was Frank Lampard, wasn't it? And then he had a good result against Man City. Brilliant result, getting a point. But who's under fire now? They've already sacked all their managers, haven't they? They've done the lower team, so...
I think the problem is you get into the same scenario as you got with Southgate. I mean, one of the reasons he's still in charge is, without doubt, there isn't anyone to really put in there, overly, you know what I mean? And I think what managers are available at the minute, there's a couple, obviously. I mean, has Moyes left West Ham?
No.
I'm seeing rumours.
I think they want him out. A lot of the fans have turned on him.
I've seen some rumours about it, but I also see a rumour that Gold was going to be heading to Cardiff. I don't know how true that was. Going to buy Cardiff and leave West Ham.
Well, I definitely think they're going in 2023. I think that's because they have to. Otherwise, they have to pay some tax, a big tax. If they stay on for another year, they get hit for some tax to do with how they bought the club or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but it's a lot of money. So it won't be surprised if they Golden Sullivan leave West Ham.
Yeah,
Ian Hills, happy New Year, guys. Sorry for the late check-in. Been down at a local pub sampling cold beers. Good on you. Yeah.
So, Nige, any expectations for the coming year of any sort?
No, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who wins the Prem this year, because it's a bit of a tighter league this year, isn't it? It's like there's quite a few in there with a chance now. So that's turning out to be. I think the whole football scene at the moment is pretty tight. So it's going to go right to the wire, and it's always good. I hate when the season's over with about 3 or 4 games to go, and the teams have won championships and premierships. So the longer it goes on, the better. But I do think it'll be definitely Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City up there by the at the end of the season.
Man United are picking up and all, don't they? Newcastle,
they're there, aren't they? But are they good enough to win the league this year? No.
I don't think they'll win the league. But
transfer window's open now, don't it? Transfer window's open now, so that.
I don't mind if they do though, because I had Man United at 33-1 at the start of the season to win the league.
Did you?
Yeah, 33. Oh, you got to have a punt at 33-1, haven't you?
Is that the price they was? Jesus,
yeah,
shows how far they've gone down, doesn't it? They're looking all right again now, aren't they? He dropped Rashford for turning up late, didn't he? Which he admitted in the press conference after Rashford, which I thought was great. And he come on and scored a goal. He looks like a different player now, Rashford. I didn't rate him at all. I couldn't see what the big thing is, but he looks the business now.
Yeah, I think he got sidetracked, didn't he, with all this charity stuff or the things that he was trying to do off the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think when you're playing that level of football, you've got to be one track minded, and everything's got to be geared towards the game and your football. It's good having distractions off the pitch, but you got to have your head firmly in it when you're playing that sort of standard of football.
Yeah, it's fine margins, isn't it? You've got to be fully focused, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Any New Year's resolutions, Nigel?
No. I can't say I'm going to do that. That's not going to happen.
Drink more.
So for me, New Year's resolutions. No, I've not made any again. I don't think I ever do really. You never see them through, do you? Really, but
nobody sticks to their resolutions anyway, do they?
nah.
I'll keep saying I'm going on a diet, and every year I'll end up putting on more weight. So my resolution is to put on as much weight as I can this year. So hopefully,
it's not a bad resolution.
Bit of reverse psychology there.
I've been losing quite a bit of weight with the build up to Christmas. Obviously, I've put a little bit back on over Christmas. I think I daren't weigh myself, but I'll be back on it. So yeah, I am determined to do that. But I think expectation-wise, I think right, proper football. I just think we've been 18 months old now. The show's been going over a year. We've got the website up and running. I think for me, I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go and develop proper football, where we can take it. The website's looking smashing, and we've got a lot more projects, haven't we? That we're gonna.
Oh no, you got to see the message board here.
We're being spammed by some sex private photo on this site. I'm just gonna send my bank details.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what 2023 brings to proper football, I think, and where we can go with the platform. We've got some great projects coming up as well, and podcasts that we're going to be introducing as well as this one. So that's what excites me. I think football-wise, I think I don't have the expectation that I used to have. I think I don't like modern day football. As you all know, I love football, but I don't like the way the modern game's going. But yeah, so probably not much in that regard. Although I still think Man City will win the league. I think Haaland is just a phenomenal. I don't know what you'd call him. He's not human.
If you watch the pictures of him after the match when they'd drawn it, he was distraught. That guy doesn't like losing. He wants to win everything.
I don't think Arsenal will keep up with City. That's my view. I know everyone probably saying that may be a wrong assumption, but I just can't see Arsenal being as prolific as what I think Man City will be.
I think
Newcastle. I'd like to see them get in top four. Their fans deserve it. Great fans. And I know people say, oh, yeah, same old cliche about their fans. But they have got great fans, great following. And good luck to them.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are a bit of an unknown entity, don't they, though? People haven't worked out to stop them playing. That will happen in time. And I think Man City, like Everton proved it the weekend, they limited not many chances, Man City. They set up really well. So I think that's the one thing with big clubs. You have to reinvent yourself every so often. And Man City have done this well this season as well with Haaland, didn't they? Up front playing differently. But yeah, I think Arsenal can hang on. I really do.
Right, we're going into extra time, so I'm going to have to blow the whistle, gentlemen. So, Nigel, any final words?
Any final words? No, have a great year, everybody out there, and hope you stay healthy. Hope you get rich.
When you do get rich, just pass a bit of that our way, yeah? Dan, from you.
Yeah, well, I'm off to this Sex Chat 69 site. No, you can't even see it. No, I'm off to go and block them. I'm going to block them. They're on their YouTube channel. No, I'm looking forward to get back out on the road.
What you're going to be doing after the show, right?
No, I want to get back out on the road and do our proper football away day vlogs. I'm hoping to get out and get some around some non-league grounds. So that's what that's my goal for this year.
We've been so busy, Dan, haven't we? We've not been out to do that. And we did some great ones last year or last season. Be nice to do a couple more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For me, just want to echo everything Nigel said, really. Be safe, be healthy, get rich and pass us some of that riches as well. But no, more importantly, just have a good year, everyone. And keep your chins up and onwards and upwards and keep following. Keep chins. I did say chins. I didn't say chin. In my world, it's chins. And just to say, please keep supporting us, following us. We do very much appreciate it. Okay, that's it then, guys. We'll finish off now with our new ending as well, which is this.
The Proper Football Live Show. Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter